Welcome to the final stretch of this quest. This video includes 3 different days of the same area that I've wanted to share for a long time. I first discovered a rock formation called Dogheads Rock in autumn last year, and ever since then I have frequently visited with a plan in mind to dedicate a video to it. However, before we get there, let's continue off from the opposite direction from the sandbank that I stepped foot on in the previous video. I'd never seen a tide that low before, which was on the 5th of March. But unfortunately on the 9th of March, aka this video, I wasn't so lucky. But my luck is only due to get worse as big wave season is around the corner. Well, this is the Bass Strait we're talking about. There's normally big waves all year round.
And this is pretty much where spray point is. One of the legs just fell off. That's how shit this tripod is. Haven't had it for very long. And then so here is where we were looking last time, and then this is the area I did in the spray point video.
I walked along the bottom of the one and only spray point, which I have covered a lot that occurs here in its own video. Here's some examples of a different day in November last year. Moving back forward, I began the walk along Cunha Beach, which has only been featured once on my channel back in autumn last year. It's a sandy beach with a slight shore break, rocks in the middle, and a car park view.
So the tide is on its way in now, so I'm not going to go exploring those rocks or anything. I just wanted to go to Dogheads Rock and just kind of start checking out the rocks there. And look at all this dead seaweed. Autumn.
I approached Dogheads Rock knowing I could stand below it because of the low surf.
So I've been around here before, and you can see it's really eroded and then it's cracked underneath once again. See how this whole massive thing is floating. So the water is very, very strong through here.
Not surprisingly, it was so sharp down there I could still feel it through my reef shoes.
Wow, look at that. How sharp is that? This is all very sharp here.
Obviously a bird's eye view from the top is a lot more majestic.
Wow. And so, while I'm here, let me show you these two rocks
are the 2 rocks I will be venturing out the next available day.
See that? Full of water. So we're down, and then you can get down here too. Get down the bottom there, and then this is the rock pool.
Getting down can be tricky if you're not physically fit. It just requires a bit of rock climbing and navigation skills. As I showed you from the other side, you can easily walk along here.
So you can see how when it's not wavy, it is possible to walk on there. Wow, it's so peaceful when there's no waves. Far out. Let's get down there. So in here, I'm gonna go in it. There's gonna be flies everywhere though. You can't really see it. So this is like the whole Dogheads Rock part. So this is the whole area here. So up there, where you can climb up.
And what you're looking at here is the end of this part that I showed before.
Perfect.
If you know how to get down, you can take in the peace and quiet this cozy little bay has to offer, which is hiding behind Dogheads Rock. And around here is my next adventure.
Yeah. Must all head up here. You can't really access up there, but here is where I want to see if I can get through. I think I can. We'll walk through here, hopefully, see what happens, and then we'll be able to access those 2 rocks, or this first one here. The second one I'm not sure yet, but the first one we should be able to access.
And fast forward a fortnight. The adventure begins.
Along this area, I think these rocks might be the hardest rocks to access. I've got a feeling they are.
You can see all the broken bits fallen from the top, now claimed by the ocean environment, such as seaweed, shells, erosion, etc.
Wow, man. It's this stuff that's so hard to navigate. It's just all broken bits. Nothing easy to walk on.
Along with this is another even more hidden bay.
All like stepping stones, kind of like formations there. And then this is all like a cozy area. I don't think many people come here at all, because this one's a lot harder to get to.
Here, you would 100% be trapped in high tide.
So this right here is probably the biggest trench in between 2 rocks that are poking out that I know. You can see the wave comes right through, and I can get there, but we're not going to get there just yet because I still need to check out this first one.
So in a perfect world, my plan was to navigate and check out the rock's edge all the way to the end of these. But like mentioned at the start of the video, I wasn't so lucky with the tide. And in this case, the waves also. Therefore I couldn't go out far towards the really rugged parts like I do traditionally. Still some nice waterfalls though. There's been previous examples on the channel before, but here again there looks to be multiple chunks of rock completely separated. Yes, I was yearning to step foot right to the edge. Not today. But what I could go close to was this black hole looking rock pool that doesn't look like it has a bottom. I know it's just sand churned up, but still freaking looking. A better view from standing on top of the rock stack shows when the sets come in, you cannot escape anywhere, and you have to run all the way back. Exploring these kinds of long rock platforms is the most dodgy and risky place, because of the lack of escape routes and safe places to hide. If a monster set catches you lacking, you have to run all the way back while hoping you don't step in invisible deep holes covered by seaweed, or lose visibility of where you're walking from the whitewash. Trust me, I've learnt the hard way.
This rock is so cracked and broken, I just broke off a bit of it with my shoes, with my feet. Holy shit. It surprises me that this is even here, and this is low tide and the water's already powerful. Just broke some more off, but this time I got it. Far out. I might change my battery and then go through here.
Had to cross yet another small obstacle.
So we've made it to the other side. It looks so much more deadly from here.
It really was one of the hardest rocks to access. This side is much easier to film the edges, weirdly enough, but it was obvious why.
know I said I'm not going to keep talking, but I just want to explain this now. I'm sure you can tell by the way I'm filming, I'm a lot more relaxed on this one here. Sticking out.
You know how I just said I was a lot more relaxed? Well, that aged like milk, because even though I was ready enough to venture towards the very end, the biggest set of the day greeted me. And scared me right off. Again. Around the corner here is where large rocks block the way, and navigating through towards Bay of Islands seems impractical. There isn't any flat rock or easy paths to walk on around. Best bet is to rock climb up the cliff face and find the next way down. But on this day I didn't properly check it out because of the waves and tide coming in, so don't take my word for it.
Trying to get one shot of this edge. These waves are not letting me. Wow.
Heading out further, I just remembered the massive set that took me by surprise before and told myself no. However, I gathered my thoughts up and decided it's best to come back.
Today was also going to be the deciding factor whether I'm going to come here again or today was good enough, and I've decided I'm going to come here again, but it's going to be on a nice tide. It's not going to be when it's wavy.
Then April rolls around.
Hello. Trying to keep out the wind. You can't hear it? Maybe you can, I don't know. There's a vibration going on. So it's autumn, heading into the middle of autumn. I was at Dogheads Rock for the first time last autumn. I think it was May or after that or before that, not sure. And coincidentally, the waves, that was the first time I ever went, was actually when I saw the biggest waves here. Ever since then they haven't been as big, and today is the biggest so far yet, and it is awesome. So coincidentally or not,
So much for coming back on a nice tide that's not wavy. I decided to make the most of this day and showcase what the difference can be. Remember that little cave I went in earlier? I wouldn't dare anyone to step foot in there right now.
yeah, you know what? I don't know if I should stay here. Oh yeah.
I decided to use my brain a bit and actually leave the camera by itself, and yes, I made sure to stabilize it properly so it doesn't fall.
Going when it's not a set. Oh my goodness, it is so dumb to be here. So we're on like the nose of the dog right now. It actually does look like a dog. The head is here, you can see my stuff there, and then we're on like the nose.
From here you can see what I was talking about better. Do not get in the way of that. And that rock you can barely see in the water was here. Also, on a tide like this, you'd be stuck in there, so you'd have to swim across. See what I mean about getting trapped? For the 10 or so people, if I'm lucky, who have followed along with this channel may have seen this video. And in that video I capture some amazing examples of wave pounding against a rock wall like this. However, in that video the plumes of spray are on a much larger scale. Now as of editing this, I'm doing my best to examine and come to terms whether these rock walls are the same height. If yes, then that means the waves in this clip are much bigger and going head on. I wish I could somehow compare my real life self to these rocks, but of course I couldn't go down there.
Gonna get some shots with my phone, maybe see how I go. I did say I was gonna get like some better camera in winter, but I don't know. It always seems to calm down as the evening, as the sun sets. I don't know why, the waves just seem to stop.
But here's the quality of this evening lighting with the iPhone camera zoomed in.
I saw a wave go right over the top of that. Right over the top. Trying to hold the phone as still as possible.
Yeah, it's not the best, but I am still deciding if I should invest in a DSLR camera for winter or not.
Is this lighting good? Is it good? I'm just gonna upload this video because I don't think I'm gonna wait until next set of low tides. I really want to make a video explaining about it because yeah, it's still confusing. Until the next set I might decide and see what the conditions are like that day. If it's nice, then I'll maybe save it for another video or keep it for this video. But for now I just want to edit what I've got and just put it up as the final kind of exploring video, and then winter's gonna hit within another month, 2 months, and
This may or may not be my last exploring video of the season. You never know, I could get something during winter, but it's highly unlikely. And apart from that, that is all folks. Thanks for watching.